remind yourself what it is about that donut that makes you want to take it. Like there are always going to be other donuts. Like what is it about this donut? And then remind yourself of like it is those sprinkles, it is that filling, it is that frosting. Like this is the one. And let that be the thing that helps you stay focused when you want to stray.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I'm bringing you a really fun Take the Doughnut interview with Brittany Hodak, who's a keynote speaker and the author of Creating Superfans. Welcome, Brittany.
Hey, Melissa, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I have so many questions to ask you, but first, I have to ask, what's your favorite donut?
I am such a simple gal, original glazed.
Perfect, perfect answer.
So
Do
I was
you?
like, I feel like it was perfect the way it is. Now, will I turn down like a strawberry or chocolate sprinkle donut? I absolutely will not. But my first choice, always original glazed.
Is the move to dunk the original glazed in something or just to eat it as it is?
As it is. It's
Perfect.
perfection. Yeah.
Yum, so good. Well, I said just a little bit about you up front, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
I am a keynote speaker and author. I wrote a book called Creating Superfans, and now I get to travel all around the world talking to companies about how every single person on their team is what I like to call the acting chief of experience, meaning they're the one responsible for turning customers into superfans. I talk about why superfans matter, why they're so important, and why every single business needs to have a strategy for making them, which we can get into and unpack in our time today. I live in Franklin, Tennessee, just south of Nashville with my husband Jeff and our two little boys, Kato and Jones.
Beautiful. A little bit of everything in that answer. And it sounds like through what you do for work, there's a very positive vibe around, what you talk about all day, which must be nice as well.
Yeah, it's funny. I joke that I feel like the universe just like drops material in my lap because since I'm talking about customer experience, every interaction that I'm having in the world, whether it's when something goes wrong, when something goes right, when I'm out shopping, when I'm at home shopping, like there are just so many things. And so, yeah, there is a lot of synergy there.
Mm. Well, for those who haven't seen a Take the Donut interview before, let me just hit the reset button and catch them up. So, Take the Donut for me is another way to say carpe diem. It's all about going after the things that you want in life. And it comes from this weird thing that happened to me in college where I left an actual donut on a table. And it almost immediately became an object lesson for me in what it looks like to leave an opportunity behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut instead of leave it on the table. So this conversation actually is all about going after opportunity, going after goals, and practically speaking, what does it actually look like when we go to do that? So, Brittany, let me ask you this. How are you with going after goals? What's that process like for you?
So many years ago, my friend Rory Vaden, who is the co-founder of something called Brand Builders Group, said that diluted focus will produce diluted results. And he said this to a group of us. I was there for a training with Brand Builders Group. And I remember just being struck by how much sense that makes and how smart that is. So I am somebody who says, I know what the one big goal is, and I am going to chase that goal at the exclusion of all of the things that don't matter. And then, of course, along the way, there are going to be opportunities to pivot and learn. But when I decided to be a keynote speaker, I had lots of friends who were like, I'm going to be a keynote speaker and a podcaster, and I'm going to, have this affiliate business and there were like 30 things that they were trying to do at the same time. And I said, I just want to be a keynote speaker. And obviously, at some point along the way, like there will be a book, there will be all of the other things to support it. But when somebody says, what is your job? I'm a keynote speaker because my goal is to get to the point to where I am paid so much money to get up on stage and deliver a message that is going to fundamentally change the way the people in that audience think about the challenges that they face every day. Like that is the North Star. And then everything else has to support that North Star if it like gets a seat at the table. And so that is how I usually am with goals is what is the one that I am fully going after in the spirit of taking the donut? And then am I disciplined enough to examine everything else against that goal, because that is where I used to really, really struggle, is the people pleasing and the say yes to everything. And like, oh, well, maybe if I do this 12 steps down the line, there's going to be a positive outcome or something that makes sense. Now it's surgically like, if this does not make sense, it is a no. And that
Mm.
is what you have to do in order to have the time, the energy, the capacity to go after those goals that matter the most. Because if you don't, you like your schedule, your life, everything is just dictated by other people's priorities.
I love that. So you're crystal clear on what the goal is, and you, in knowing that, also have a pretty clear vision of what the goal isn't. So when those things come along, those opportunities come along, it can either fit into the let's go after this or let's not bucket. It's
Exactly.
really interesting. So when you're going after something big, when there's a big goal in front of you, it's maybe going to take a lot of time to get there. What keeps you motivated in that process?
I think visualizing the outcome and reminding myself why it matters. Like I am one of those people that I am terrible at a goal for goal's sake. Like I have to know that it matters, why it matters, and what it looks like on the other side, or I just simply will not prioritize it. So for me, that is one of getting crystal clear about the like, what is the grass on the other side of the fence look like? Because if I don't know, there's no way I'm scaling this fence.
Mm. When we go after things we want, challenges tend to come up. I find, especially the bigger the goal, the more obstacles come in our way. And for you, I'm wondering if there's a specific brand of challenge that comes up over and over and over again. So no matter what you're doing in your life, no matter what arena the goal is in, you're probably going to encounter this Achilles heel. What is that for you?
So I suspect that I probably have ADHD. I've never been diagnosed. When I've mentioned it to friends, they like unanimously, it's people laughing and being like, obviously, like, how are you just figuring this out about yourself? Of course you have ADHD. And because of that, I am that like prototypical entrepreneur chasing the shiny object. And so that is why everything I said before about having to have like laser focus and be surgically precise about like not getting distracted. And that's because historically for me, it is the distractions. It's the, oh, that looks fun. Oh, this looks fun too. Maybe if I could just do these things and then I'll still get to that thing, but like I'm going to take these detours. And so that for me is the thing that comes up again and again and again, and why I have to have that North Star of, is this in service of this purpose? And if not, I remind myself what Rory said all those years ago: diluted focus produces diluted results.
Mm. When you think about your life to this point, this could be a personal or professional answer. What would you say is the biggest donut you've ever taken?
I mean, if I'm honest, like motherhood,
Mm.
it is so hard. I've got two little boys who I just absolutely adore. And, they're the most important thing in the world, but like, damn, they are the hardest thing in the world. And it's, especially this week, I'm recording this. We're on day 3 out of at least 5 of them not being able to go to school because of ice storms in Nashville. And that is, you know, I I I know that I'm not alone in this, because I have so many friends who are parents, and especially moms who also are just constantly second guessing, like, did I do the right thing? Did I handle that the best way? Is this okay? Like, what are the arguments we're going to have versus the ones we're not going to have? What are the important things? Like, and it's just such a delayed gratification, or not, that's the wrong way to say it, because it's not a delayed gratification. It's like you just don't know, like
Mhm.
it's like you're buying all of the stock and you're just like hoping like, oh yeah, years and years from now I did the right thing and this made up, because you don't necessarily have that real-time feedback. So that to me is the thing of, you just have to sort of trust your gut and like try to listen to experts and friends and do the things that feel right and seem right at the time. But like, man, there is a brand new challenge every single day as a parent.
And it's interesting too, because when I think about how you answered the first question of what the process of going after goals is like for you, it sounded like you're very precise and very pinpointed on, this is what I'm moving towards, and this is, I'm all in, I'm focusing on how I'm going to get there. And it seems like kids would uh like there is no agenda. Like you can have a plan, but it'll probably throw you more curveballs than anything else. So it must be really interesting for you to negotiate between those things.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I probably shouldn't say this. This is like a terrible joke, but it's a joke that I've made with friends, and I feel like to a large extent they agree. I feel like the mark of progress for humanity in general is like if our kids are saying different things in therapy than we said. Like, I don't know what it is that I'm doing that my kids are gonna like complain about in therapy when they're adults, but as long as it's different things than I complained about, like as long as they're inheriting different traumas than the ones I lived through, then like hopefully that's a step in the right direction. Hopefully that means we're doing something right and things are progressing the way that they should. So again, I probably shouldn't say that. It's like half joking, half not. But it's like you just don't know. And that is such a different reality than the professional world where things are driven by results, that are driven by KPIs, they're driven by like a number that you can see on a balance sheet and say, did it go up? Did it go down over a set period of time? And with parenting, it's just like, man, I hope I'm doing all the things right to help this person tackle a world that is going to look so different than the world that any of us have ever had to exist in before.
Well, maybe some of what you're saying is in this next answer, but what is a donut that you're taking right now? What's in progress for you that you can talk about?
I have really jumped into the world of AI. And part of that is because as somebody who talks about customer experience, I've been getting asked more and more about the intersection of customer experience and AI. And not in sort of like a general go up and like talk about it for an hour on stage and sound like an expert way, but like with very specific questions about based on the knowledge that you bring, based on the experience that you have in the realm of CX, what would you do if you were designing this program for a company like ours with 100,000 employees or millions and millions of customers or sometimes smaller companies too. And so that is something that I am just personally really excited about right now is creating the time and the space to really dive in and feel like I'm on the forefront of something and getting to help shape the way hopefully things become the norm in the future has been a really, really cool donut to take.
I know there'll be ears that perk up when they hear AI. I mean, it's such a hot topic, and to the take that you have on it is an interesting one. There may be people who are listening to this who also have a donut of their own they want to take. And it could be an idea, or it could be something they've started to move towards. Maybe they're looking for a little inspiration to figure out how to keep moving forward from where they are. So let's sprinkle some encouragement. And what would you say to those people?
I think I would say, you know, to like really stretch the metaphor, um, remind yourself what it is about that donut that makes you want to take it. Like there are always going to be other donuts. Like what is it about this donut? And then remind yourself of like, it is those sprinkles, it is that filling, it is that frosting. Like this is the one. And let that be the thing that helps you stay focused when you want to stray. Like it's not just, oh, if I don't take this donut, there'll be another donut next week. Like, no, you need this donut. Like, what is it about this one?
Trust the instinct that made you want to go after it in the first place, it sounds like, and reinforcing the why of what's happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, for those who want to follow you, where can they find you and see what's happening on your journey? What links should I put in the description?
Well, thank you for asking. You can find everything you need to know about me at brittanyhodak.com. And because my husband's last name was pretty unusual, I joke that I won the SEO lottery because my maiden name was Jones. So once I went from being Brittany Jones to Brittany Hodak, I was like, oh, I can get any handle I want on any social media site now. So I'm at Brittany Hodak just about everywhere.
That is so handy.
Yeah, if you see a Brittany Hodak, it's probably me
Yeah.
because there aren't a lot of us. Could not say that about Brittany Jones.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I'll be sure to put those links in the description. Everybody can check those out and see what you have going on, see more about what you have to say about AI and all other things. And if you liked hearing Brittany's story, be sure to like and subscribe on this video because there's so many inspirational interviews still to come. But in the meantime, Brittany, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time and sharing your thoughts about going after opportunity in life.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me, Melissa. This was great. And thanks to you for listening.
Exactly. Thank you to everybody who's watching this and go out there, get inspiration, and get donuts. Bye.